You are already whole. Not because you fixed everything, not because all the pieces finally fit, but because even in your brokenness there is completeness. Even in your chaos, there is clarity waiting to be heard. We're taught to chase answers, to constantly fix, improve, correct, upgrade. But sometimes the deepest growth comes not from chasing, but from sitting still in the questions, from allowing space for uncertainty, from saying, I don't know, without shame, from understanding that maybe healing isn't a destination, maybe it's a relationship with yourself, with your story, with your pain. You see, the soul doesn't speak in quick fixes. It speaks in symbols, in silence, in long pauses and soft whispers. And the more we slow down, the more we begin to hear it. The subtle truths we once drowned out with noise and distraction. The feelings we buried so deep they started to look like facts, like I'm not enough, or this is just how I'll always be. But those aren't truths. They're echoes from a world that convinced you to doubt your own light. And the moment you begin to question them, the moment you sit with them instead of running, is the moment they start to lose their power. Transformation doesn't begin with changing everything. It begins with noticing. Noticing the patterns, noticing the thoughts that loop on repeat, noticing the way you speak to yourself in the quiet moments. Because awareness is the first act of freedom. When you see yourself clearly, you're no longer a prisoner of your pain. You become its witness. And in witnessing, you begin to soften, to unravel, to release. It's not always dramatic. Sometimes healing is boring. It looks like choosing water over caffeine. It looks like going to bed when you're tired. It looks like texting a friend back instead of ghosting them out of fear. It looks like forgiving yourself for things you didn't know back then. And slowly, without fireworks or applause, you begin to return to yourself. Not the polished version the world wants, but the real one, the one that cries during songs, the one that laughs too loud, the one that feels deeply, thinks endlessly, and loves imperfectly. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are becoming. Even now, even here, even when it feels like nothing is changing. Growth doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's a whisper in the dark. Sometimes it's just you sitting with your truth, breathing into the silence, and choosing to keep going. That's enough. That's more than enough. And so are you. And maybe that's the point. Not to always be strong, but to be real. To sit with your own darkness without rushing to fix it. To feel the ache without numbing it. To honor your story, even the pages you wish you could tear out. Because there is beauty in the rawness. There is wisdom in the wounds. Every scar is a sentence in the language of becoming. You are not behind. You are not lost. You are unfolding, slowly, quietly, just as you're meant to. And even if the world doesn't pause to see your effort, let this truth echo inside you. You are doing better than you think. Sometimes survival is an act of rebellion, to feel in a world that teaches you to numb, to slow down in a culture obsessed with speed, to be soft in a world that glorifies hardness. Let yourself be tired. Let yourself breathe. Let yourself lay down the burden, even if just for a moment. You don't have to prove your worth through your pain. You don't need to earn rest. You are enough even when you're not performing. This life is not a race. It's a rhythm, one you learn not by force, but by learning to listen to yourself, to your body, to your soul. And in that listening, you'll begin to hear the faintest truth, that underneath all the noise, all the pressure, all the pain, there is stillness. And in that stillness, you are already whole. You look fine. You smile. You nod. You say you're okay. But deep down, you're carrying something no one sees. A silent weight that words can't explain. We all carry it. Some call it stress, others call it pain. But at its core, it's the burden of simply being alive. Every day we walk through the world wearing invisible armor, not made of steel, but of silence. We pretend we're fine because we're afraid of being seen as weak. We bottle things up because the world rewards strength, not vulnerability. But here's the truth. What we hide doesn't disappear. It lingers. It seeps into our thoughts. It alters how we love, how we trust, how we see ourselves. And slowly, without realizing it, we become strangers to our own emotions. The ancient Stoics said we suffer more in imagination than in reality. But what if it's both? What if we suffer in silence and then suffer more by pretending it doesn't exist? What if the heaviest burdens we carry are the ones we never speak of? This is the paradox of human life. We crave connection, but we fear exposure. We long for understanding, but we hide what needs to be understood. And so we drift, smiling on the outside, sinking on the inside. No one can see your thoughts. No one can hear your inner battles. The moments you break down alone. The nights you lie awake wondering if you're enough. Those are the things that shape you far more than anyone ever knows. But here's the profound part. The fact that you keep going despite it all is nothing short of heroic. Not the loud kind of heroism, but the quiet kind. The kind that doesn't ask for recognition. The kind that rebuilds itself in silence. The kind that whispers, "Keep going," when every part of you wants to give up. There's strength in keeping it together, but there's a different kind of strength in letting yourself fall apart. In saying, "I'm not okay," and allowing that truth to exist.
If this made you pause, if you're drawn to deeper truths and quiet strength, then you're in the right place. Like, subscribe, and keep exploring with us. See you in the next one.